Morning, everybody. This is Mr. Lowe. Today's lesson is lesson 6-7, dividing by a decimal. So we are going to continue on with our long division process, except now our problems are going to look slightly different, and we're going to have one more additional step that we got to take care of. So the last lesson we did, we had a decimal in our dividend, but not in our divisor. And when we had a decimal in our dividend, so if I had 3 46 divided by 2, so a decimal in my dividend, what we did last time is we kicked the decimal straight up, and then just straight through do our long division. Today we're going to do something kind of similar, but there's one extra step. So just copy this problem down. Let's see if you can figure out what the issue is. So now I have a problem, 25 56 divided by 400. So if I go and write that down as a long division problem, 25 56 divided by 0 and, well, not 4/10, 0 and 400. Now it becomes pretty evident that we have a decimal both in our dividend and our divisor. So we cannot kick. What we have to do is get rid of the decimal in our divisor first. And that getting rid of it doesn't mean just taking it away. We need to change 400ths. So I need to change 400ths into something that is a whole number. So I need to make it 4 wholes. Well, I do that by multiplying by 10 to the second power. Because when I multiply a decimal by a power of 10, all I'm doing is moving the decimal 2 places to the right, which gives me 4. So we're going to take that decimal and we're going to move it 2 places to make it a whole number. What you do to your divisor, you must also do to your dividend. That helps keep our equation, our math problem, exactly the same. So I'm going to take 25 56 and I'm going to times it by the exact same power of 10, 10 to the second power. Not because there's only 2 decimal places here, but because what we did up here to the divisor, we have to do the same thing. These two have to be the same. So I take that and we'll go 25.56. I move it 2 places over to the right, and that gets me 2,556. So now I can rewrite my math problem. I probably should move that decimal 1, 2. Once I move it, now I kick it up. You can keep this mess. If you'd rather rewrite the math problem, you can. It's just going to be 2556 decimal point, kick it, divided by 4. And now we do our long division. Can 4 go into 2? No. Can 4 go into 25? Sure it can. It goes into 25 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. I subtract, I get 1. I bring down my 5. So I brought that straight down. Can 4 go into 15? Sure it can. It goes into it 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Again, I subtract. I get 3. 15 minus 12 is 3. And now I bring my 6 straight down. So once we get the decimal out of our divisor, we move the decimal over in the dividend the same number of places. So we did it 2 here. We're going to do it 2 here. And now it's just dividing like we normally would. 36. And 4 goes into 36 9 times. And 9 times 4 is 36. I subtract and I get 0. So my answer is 639. I'm going to have the sub do a bunch of different examples with you. Well, you know what? Let's do one together. Let's do one just by ourselves, and we'll kind of see where we're at. So let's go ahead and copy this math problem down. Yeah, let's do this one. I don't want that. I want my pen. So we're going to do a division. I want to do 1.5, 1 5/10 divided by 2 5/10. And I want you to watch what we do. So I know I cannot have a decimal over here in my divisor. I have to move it one place over. And because I moved this decimal one place over, I have to move the decimal in my dividend one place over to the right as well. Once I move it, now I can kick it. And once we kicked it, now we can go ahead and do our division. So we now have 25, not 2.5, because remember that purple decimal is my decimal now. So 25 divided by, can 25 go into 1? No, it cannot. Can 25 go into 15? No, it cannot. Now, what can I add at the end of my decimal? So there's my decimal. I can add a 0 here. So now that I've added my 0, now we're doing 25 goes into 150. How many times? Well, I'm going to say 6, and if I know that that's the answer, but if you didn't know it, we could guess. We'd say, okay, 25 goes into 6. Let's see, 6 times 5 is 35. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus, that should be a 3. 12 plus 3 is 15. That's 155. And that... Oh, no, it's not, dummy. Ugh, I hate when I make a mistake like that. So let's try this again. 25 times 6. There we go. 6 times 5 is 30. Thank you very much. Carry my 3. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. That gives me my 150. That's much better. And I subtract 150 minus 150, I get 0. So my answer is 6/10. That decimal point I have to keep as my answer. Alright, so you guys are going to go ahead and you're going to work through a number of different problems. All of them have decimals in both the dividend and the divisor. Remember, when we are moving these decimals over here, what you're really doing is doing 2.5 times 10 to the first power. So we're multiplying by powers of 10, which moves the decimal one place over to the right. Alright, good luck. Get your work done. What you don't finish will be for homework.